Hi everyone, and welcome to EVE Talk, your weekly look at the EVE Online market. I'm your host, delonewolf, and here we are once again in Jita to take a look at the markets. Last EVE Talk before EVE Online Odyssey launches next week, so let's hope that the launch will be without problems. We know that the last update to the launcher had a few problems and quirks in it, but let's hope that this one runs smoothly and that CCP can get back to these nice patch launches without any problems that we've enjoyed over like the last year or even more than that, I'd say. When I first started EVE, we had some problems from time to time, but lately they've been doing really well, and what happened with the launcher was actually an exception. Still, to be on the safe side, I put a 12-day skill in there so that there's no chance of me running out of the skill training queue and then wasting time and wasting research points. So I suggest you still do the same if you're playing EVE as well. So let's head out to the market here and let's go for the quick bar, and let's take a look once again, as we always start with the minerals and show the graph. It seems pretty stable here, this Technetium, the most common mineral in EVE Online. And yeah, we can see, maybe I should go to the 3-month chart here. We can see right now that the 5-day moving average, which is the red line, and the 20-day moving average are crossing each other regularly. So this is like a new stable point that they have found, and I would say it's around 5.5, just below that. So let's have a look at what the prices are in Jita Station. Yep, 553 and 552 for the buyers. So yeah, this is no margin whatsoever. This is definitely the new price for Technetium. Seems to be 5.5, whereas it's been above 6 ISK for a good part of last year. So this has definitely been quite a correction in anticipation of EVE Online Odyssey. Let's have a look at Pyrite, which should mirror this. Yeah, it's actually had a more recent spike here. Right after the expansion, it was always a good idea to mine some ores that yielded pyrite, which is scordite. But as you can also see, the correction has been a bit more severe here, going from almost 16 ISK to below 14, and I would say the current prices are, let's have a look here, yeah, 13.6. And for the buyers in station, 13.37, so also very little margin there. And I'm pretty sure if I go to the 3-month chart, yeah, there you go, you're seeing the same thing with the 5-day moving average going just above and then just below the 20-day moving average. So it's definitely found its new balance, and unfortunately it's below 14 ISK, where it's known a nice top of almost 16 ISK just a few months ago. Moving on to Mexalon, which is the last somewhat common mineral. You can see pretty much a similar chart as Technetium, a high that's been held for quite a large part last year of above 60 ISK, then a correction right now, and it's holding above 40 ISK. And once again at the tail end there, you can see this 5-day moving average moving up and down above this 20-day moving average part. Indicating that basically the market has found its new price point where people are willing to buy up lower sell orders or bid up the price as well by placing higher buy orders than what the sell orders are evolving towards. So this is definitely like market action, and I really like this part of the chart, you know, because if you look at the 1-year chart, I think it's always been pretty much in tandem. Yep, this is the 6-month chart, 5-day moving average below it for quite a while here. This is the correction, but if you go at the 1-year chart, it's not as visible. But during when the price is held, we see a similar action here compared to what we see in the last few months, and this is like a normal market chart where supply and demand are constantly fighting with each other to find the correct price. Compare that to some of the other charts that are heavy on market speculation. You will see that there is a lot more variation between what the 5-day moving average and the 20-day moving average does, and that's a sign that there's a lot of speculative money in it, and it's definitely not in a mineral market as far as I can tell in the last few months or even in the last year. So I'll have a quick look. Megasite still slowly going up. Isogen also still going up a little bit. Where is Noxium? Yeah, that one is going up quite a lot actually, and this might actually be a pretty good example right here. You can see how the 5-day moving average takes off quite a lot more extremely than the 20-day moving average. Here you can see 900 ISK, 800 to 900 ISK in roughly half the time it took for the 20-day moving average to catch up. That's a lot of speculative money going in there. That's a lot of people anticipating a much higher price for Noxium, investing their ISK in it, hoping to be able to buy some at a lower price and sharply bidding that up. So this is a sign that in Noxium something is going on. I'm not 100% sure what it is, but you can see over the last year we had here a very sharp 5-day decline, and then up here clearly a top here again, and we're working on another top again. To me this indicates that it's not so much the fundamentals, but that, well, a part of it are the fundamentals, that's true, but there's a lot of speculation causing these spikes, and so this is a lot more speculative money driving the prices here and these spikes in Noxium than just supply and demand. There's a lot of speculative money in this market, in my opinion. So yeah, pretty interesting, and in the low-end minerals, unfortunately for high-stake miners, pretty bad news. So we'll move on to Tech2, which I generally find a good market to trade in. And at the moment I'm going for the command chips, which will be changed at some point, just not with Odyssey just yet. So this seems to be normal market action so far. Maybe I'll go for 3 months here. Definite downtrend for the Absolution. And here you can see a spike, which is, in my opinion, again some speculative money. Let's have a look at 3-month chart for the Damnation. And these are better variations, as you can see here and here. We're talking about sharp rises of 20 to 40 million ISK. So, and here it's taking off again. So this is why I like this for trading money, or shorter term trading, I'd say. Here, yeah, again, these are jumps 20 to 30 million, something like that. Not as pronounced here in the Nighthawk. The Vulture one has been pretty stable, but here you can see it's taking off right there up to 260 million. Some data points, you know, if people are willing to buy them at 260 million, you could have bought them for 220 most of the time. There's definitely some trading money to be made here, but not enough spikes to say it's short term. Last week the Galentes seem to be doing alright. So, well, we have this one spike over the last 3 months. Not as good, I would still say, as the Damnation. Damnation has 2 and working on a 3rd one in 3 months. That's looking alright for me. The EOS, that's decent. 1, 2 spikes, now a correction, and it's ready for the next one, I think. So this is decent. And then let's have a look at Claymore. That's a chart that I like. Look at this, coming out from a spike right here, which is pretty obvious. You get 1, 2 spikes with 2 bottoms and a stable 20-day moving average. That's a lot of trading money that's been going in and out. Some serious money has been made and lost here in the Claymore market. And now it's been correcting a bit, pretty sharply here. Sharp drop here, decent rise here. So yeah, the Claymore, this is charts on 3 months that I like for some short-term trading. And same with the Damnation, and I sort of like the EOS, although it's not as good as the previous 2. And then the Sleipnir, this one seems the same ballpark as the EOS, with 2 clear spikes here, although the 20-day moving average has moved with it, which means that generally it's been a slower turnover. And yeah, so far the Claymore seems to be like the most interesting chart for trading, in my opinion, but that's how I try to analyze it and make some decision based on the charts. Moving on to the Tech 3 market, melted nano ribbons have been correcting a bit after the sharp, well, correcting, I should say, it's corrected for a decent amount of time. Now it's gone back up again, but you can also see the 5-day moving average going back towards 20-day moving average. So it looks to me like a new price point has been found on the 1-year chart. Yeah, well, it's actually been pretty spiky over the last year, pretty a changing market here, from anywhere from 6.5 to 4.5 million, and now it's at 5.5, something like that. Yeah, 5.6 in station, 5.5 for the buy orders. So yeah, this is, I'm a bit surprised this is not as stable. Well, a bit surprised. This is from wormhole space, so it's not as stable. Definitely also subject a little bit to manipulation. Look at these sharp price spikes right here in the middle, this sharp drop here. That could definitely be speculative spikes there. But yeah, overall, at the moment, I would say it's on an average 5.5 million of what it's been whole year. So it's hard to say what it'll do next. The ships are probably on their downtrend still. Yeah, there is the Loki and the Tengu. Yeah, definitely still on a general downtrend for the year. So Tech 3 ships have not been doing too well. I'll have a look. I forgot that Tech 1 ships. Here's the Maelstrom chart. 3 months. Look at those spikes. That's half decent. I'm surprised for some trading there. But overall, 20-day moving average holding on just above 200 million. Let's have a look at the Drake. Where are you? Here we go. Well, it's going back up here, but it's still moving pretty much in the 50 to 52 million band. So the difference between this and the command ships is obviously the scale here. We're talking 2 million jumps here, whereas we were talking 20 million jumps in the command ships, which is a lot more significant. Seen in a similar chart, this would be pretty much flat actually. So yeah, Tech 1 ships seem to be holding on a little bit. Maybe I should look at the couple of the battleships which are getting changed. The standard ones. I know that the Typhoon is being changed substantially, but hasn't moved a lot from this chart. Let's have a look at the Tempests. Seems pretty normal. I'm just going over them pretty quickly here. If anything jumps out, I would have expected the Hyperion to become more powerful and to be up, but not really. Dominic's has known a spike and now a correction, so that one's gone up a little bit, but not that much, which is a bit surprising to me because it's losing gun DPS. But it must have, I would expect this to be mostly 0-0 speculations on new fleet doctrines, so maybe we might see some Dominic's fleets. Scorpion looks normal. The Rock, yeah, that's known. Yeah, this 5-day moving average spike here. That's actually because Test has bought up all the rocks in Jita at one point. So yeah, this one moves a bit more. I'm a bit surprised. It's used more, I think, in 0-0, and I suspect this is why we see this much more volatile chart. The Raven, pretty much the same. Yeah, and going up there. So, oh, look at that spike. That's actually quite a lot. Quite a serious spike here, going from below 145 to 160 million. That's quite a high spike for a Tech 1 battleship. Not really sure what is behind this for the Raven. I would expect this is a mission running ship and pretty stable, but for some reason looks like there's a lot of speculation going on in there. Then that would be my guess. The MR ones, Armageddon, general uptrend a little bit. This definitely seems up because of the changes. Interesting. Apocalypse, bad chart. Let's have a look at the 6-month one. Looks pretty much normal, I would say, honestly. And Abaddon, yeah, also looks normal. So it's pretty interesting to me how most of the changes seem to be either in the Dominics, which I hadn't expected, or in the Kaldari ships. Yeah, for the Rock, this is a bit normal, but for the Raven, that's a bit strange to me. Anyways, those were the Tech 1 battleships, which are getting changed in Odyssey, but not too much seems to have moved. So I'd say these are not dramatic changes. We'll end up here with Technetium, which is yeah, well, went down really sharply, and now it's pretty much finding its price there. You can see again this picture of the 5-day moving average moving up and down above the 20-day moving average. So a new price point, 30,000 ISK, where height of the year almost 200,000 ISK. Ouch, the Technetium market took quite a beating, and this is generally CCP is doing. Finally, Galente fuel blocks have found their new price point as well, so most of the speculation has already happened. 3-month chart, pretty much around 16.5k, 16k in station, something like that. So these are the ice mining changes that you're seeing right here on this chart. But yeah, that's not unexpected considering the changes we're getting. A lot less supply is supposed to come from HiSec, which could definitely have an impact. And finally, at what? Almost 15 minutes, good. The Plex, generally I'd say from this 1-year chart, the 20-day moving average still going up, 5-day moving average knowing some spiky behavior, but general trend still up. Let's have a look at price. 550 and 537. Not a lot of movement, I think, from last year, maybe a couple million higher. But I've seen 590 in Dodixia already, so which is where I bought mine. But overall, the general uptrend here seems to be clear. In my opinion, it's going to be interesting how it'll evolve after Odyssey launches, and if we'll see a summer correction or not. I expect maybe a small one, but not a serious one. This is just my opinion, of course, and my own speculation. So I'm thinking of holding on to them until the big spike of the winter expansion, which we generally see. Anyways, that's it for the Plex market and for the market for EVE Online for this week, and I'll see you all next time.